It's Mike Sychek, and this is my video proposal of resolving customer support backlog issues. This is particular of interest. I used my real company with the fictitious name and actually learned a lot more about what the real problem was. I'm going to start the presentation and go over my review. First agenda item is I'm going to have an introduction to the problem, support problem that I was facing, the opportunity, the current situation, success factors to this proposal, analysis of the alternatives, strategic option to pick from, the benefits of this alternative, the risk of this alternative, and the call to action. First, the current situation. Due to the explosive growth of a ScreenNow company, a lot more background checks have been run from our customers, and this has caused an increase of customer support calls. To the right, the support request volume, you see from 2014 was around 150. It progressively has gotten higher to the point now where we're taking around 375. Little to no staff has been added. So this has caused an increase of support requests. It has backlogged the support request for the customers. It's delayed the issue resolution, which has caused delays within the background checks back to the customers. And this overall has caused customer frustrations. So we need to come up with a solution to prevent these backlog of support issues. The critical success factors to this proposal and the problem to resolve the customer support backlog, reduce the customer's need for direct support, has to be a cost-efficient solution, decrease the customer's wait time. The analysis of the alternatives was an interesting exercise. At first, I thought I was just simply going to find the alternative to resolve the backlog. But upon investigation and really digging in deeper in talking to support and customer and client advocates, my true stakeholders of who are in the trenches with the customers, I asked some analysis and the customer support issues for the last 12 months, primarily, if we look at the chart here, is 36% were user errors, 28% were not a defect at all, just really confusion on the system or maybe a different aspect of the system that wasn't so clear. And some of it was data related, customer setup, performance issues within the system, or was truly a development bug. So what were the alternatives for this? Well, first was recognize what was the real problem. So the problem really wasn't that I needed to resolve the support backlog, but rather why were customers needing support in the first place, and what is the best cost-efficient alternative to provide that support? So when I did my analysis of my alternatives, the quick and easy way is always to add headcount. But in a trying times where we were very dynamic and reliant on the economy, it's hard to add headcount just to get over a hump. So this is a short-term, I think, fix, or let's say a riskier fix, and expensive because then the economy could come down and this would actually cost more money to go with a headcount. The second option of outsourcing support was more cost efficient, but with outsourcing you lose a lot of intellectual property and institutional knowledge. There's also what are detailed inside of the report that goes with this PowerPoint is we lose an area of respect with the customer. They a lot of times know due to accent reasons that we are outsourcing support. And there's a lot of campaign marketing around in-housing and using local support and building a rapport has an advantage with the customers to know that they're really talking to people that are at the company, employees of the company, and really understand their perspective as a customer. The last alternative is crowdsourcing support. And what crowdsourcing is to take advantage of our customers, really in an interactive environment where customers help customers. Support would be set up. Customers would ask a question to the form. The crowdsourcing would look at it and say, I have a question, I can answer that question, I see the question, add perspectives to the question, and essentially answer and help the customers before it gets escalated to our support staff. So my solution was to go with crowdsourcing. This does resolve the initial symptom of the problem, which is the support backlog, and it solves the real problem of why were customers calling, contextual help. They needed help or understanding, and being cost effective to have customers help customers is the best ultimate solution that will guarantee us to have customer satisfaction. The benefits of crowdsourcing, of course, reduce support costs. We're leveraging the crowd's talent. Our support staff has, let's say, sometimes limited knowledge of a customer's view. The crowd of customers can also give a customer's perspective, and the more people that you have inside of the crowd support solution, the more perspective and ideas that the crowd can come up with. That creativity lends to new ways to use the system. Alternately, it leads to better customer satisfaction. And both sides, including our support staff, can learn from the ways that customers use the platform and the questions that they have and how other customers help them understand it. Last, the innovation buzz. It's a very new technology. A lot of companies have been in the game for a little bit, like Apple, that have adopted it. There's been great success for it. But with benefits, there are also risks. The risk of putting out a crowd-sourced support system is going to be the crowd can be wrong. There are incorrect answers that the crowd can provide. Is there a legal liability that we may be facing because of that? We will have to research that with legal. Ultimately, the lack of participation. The purpose of using a crowdsourced support system is to go faster, not slower. So at first, we could, until it is more proven, if we had a lack of participation, it would actually increase, and customers would be worse off by waiting for other customers to answer their questions. So we definitely have to partner and make sure that customers will participate to know that when they participate, they can also give and receive. Another risk factor is privacy concerns. This is public information. A crowd is public. It's crowdsourced. Your question is asked in public, and your answer is answered in the public. This could lead to embarrassing questions, embarrassing answers. Could also lead to an accidental disclosure of company information, intellectual property. So there are some levels of privacy concerns when crowdsourcing support. Last is the adoption rate risk. Most companies, I think, are prepared for crowdsourcing support. Gartner has rated very high at the feasibility and the rollout and adoption rate, but also realizes it could be heading to a plateau before it then would even out. Next steps and call to action. The first thing we need to do is analyze some crowdsourcing tools. Pick the best tool and incorporate it into our solution. We will need business requirements and build a prototype that can be shown to customers to kind of engage their feedback as we build the product. Next would be the actual development. How is it going to be integrated with our current offerings and tested? We will then pick a few customers to enter an alpha pilot with us. Once we get the last bit of feedback, recommendations, we will publish, go forward, and do a go-to-market solution. This is my presentation. Thank you for listening and sharing this with me. Thank you very much.